Hi guys, it's Monique from earlylearningmom.com. So I am just here at the Homeschool conference. I'm here pretty early. I thought it was going to take me longer. The conference is literally on the other side of the city from me, so I anticipated with high volumes of traffic and all that, it would take me a bit longer to get here. But here I am, so I thought I would do just kind of a quick video just explaining why I come to the Homeschool conference, especially this year. Sorry, I'm trying to get the lighting right. Let's see. I'm going to look a little washed out, sorry. So especially this year, where I only need a little bit of curriculum, I've already purchased my Bookshark, which I bought used. There we go. So we will be doing Bookshark again this year. We completed yesterday the language arts for their K program, and I still consider Z being in grade 1 because their K level program is designed for 5 to 7 year olds, and so he's 6, he'll be 7 in May, so he still falls in that category. And next year, or come September, when we start the level 1, it's designed for 6 to 8 year olds. So you're supposed to try to put your child in the level that is they're kind of in the middle or they're at the higher end of. It's not recommended to stick a 5-year-old in the the program that's good for 5 to 7 year olds. That program is really designed for 6 to 7 year olds, but they say 5 because you may have a precocious 5-year-old. So there were a few pieces that I need because I purchased the curriculum used. We need to get Explode the Code, and I have Explode the Code 1. I need 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and 3.5. So that's one of my main purchases in the vendor hall. And I'm also looking for some different handwriting programs. We completed Handwriting Without Tears Preschool, and we completed Handwriting Without Tears transitional, like the Kickstart Kindergarten, which is their transitional kindergarten. And I feel like we need a little bit more practice before we jump into the kindergarten level of it. So I'm wanting to kind of flip through some of the Abeka printing programs and look at what else is available. We're currently doing another program that I'm going to be doing a review about on my blog in the next couple weeks. And that program is great, but it's not going to hold us through the amount of printing practice that we do. We can fly through a book. So I just want to look for several options just to mix it up so he kind of doesn't get bored of doing the same thing over and over again, but where we can get that foundation for making his letters, following the formation. I just want it to be second nature. I know with my oldest, we were working really hard on that when he was little, and then he transitioned to public school, and that was kind of gone with the wind. When he was at home, I could make him form his letters properly, but with nobody sitting over his shoulder to make sure he was still doing it, it proved to be, practice bad habits. And so I don't want that happening with little Z. So that's something else I'm going to be looking for there. I'm also looking to pick up it's like I don't want to say textbook because I don't really feel it's a textbook. I'll share it with you guys later if I purchase it today. It's called Wow Canada, and it is kind of a journey through Canada. And I want to use it in a way that, the same way we use the Bookshark books, we'll sit down with the Usborne Children's Encyclopedia, and we flip through and we learn about the human body, we learn about plants, we learn about the Egyptians, we learn about, medieval times, and we kind of just have like an introduction to it. So my thoughts were I could use this book the same way that I use the books that we use with Bookshark. Sorry, I'm looking around because I'm just making sure people don't think I'm crazy sitting here talking to a camera. And so yeah, that was something I was looking at getting. I'm also looking just some different Canadian books, because Bookshark is of course American, so I want to make sure that Z is getting some good Canadian content. Essentially, we're Canadian. I have no issues teaching some things, some of the American history, because it does blend with Canadian history. You know, some of it goes hand in hand, but some of it doesn't. And, well, I don't mind him learning about, you know, we read recently Christopher Columbus and, you know, George Washington and stuff like that. I want him to learn about the Canadian prime ministers and the people that influenced Canada. So I'll be looking for that. And I'm also here, honestly, for the lectures and like the workshops. And there's this person, I don't know much about him, but from when the keynote speaker, when I looked him up, he seems very literature-based in kind of his philosophy about homeschooling. And I could be totally wrong. This is just what I'm interpreting off the internet. So I am really excited to hear him talk. And there's also another woman that'll be speaking, and one of the workshops is about habit building, and not for the children, but for us parents. So I really want to sit in on that. I packed myself a notebook and some pens, and I'm really hoping to get some good notes. And you know, teachers go to you know, they have in-service days where they do professional development, and I feel like I come to MACHS in March for my personal development, and I also go to MASH, which is the other homeschool group. MACHS is the Christian aspect of homeschooling, the community of Christian homeschoolers, and then you have MASH, which is kind of like the secular version. I'm not saying that nobody in there is religious. It's just it's more of a secular group. There are crossovers, definitely. There's speakers that speak here that also speak at MASH. MASH is much, much, much smaller of a community, but I find it's a little bit more intimate because the workshops are kind of, you know, it's a group of maybe 20 people, whereas workshops here, when they used to have it at the Calvary Temple Church, which is a huge church, it filled up their main worship area. It was outrageous. So, I mean, nothing like they have, like the Teach Me Diligent conferences and stuff like that in the States. Nothing like that, definitely. We're in Winnipeg, small community. I think in Manitoba, there's 4,000 homeschoolers, which I tell people that, and to me that seems small. But when you tell other people that, they're actually shocked, because you don't hear much about homeschooling here. So yeah, it's really kind of exciting to get together with everybody. And so before, I'm kind of going on a tangent, I'm really sorry. Before, when I first became a homeschooler, and I'm thinking back to like when Wesley was little and we were homeschooling him for those few short years, I came here to look at the vendor hall. I would sit in on some workshops that maybe really triggered my interest, but I was in the vendor hall. And now, years later, you know, Wesley is going on 14. He's taller than me now. He's in the 8th grade, going on to the 9th grade. You know, he's in public school. And whether he stays there for the rest of his education career or we bring him back home, that's still up in the air. I'm kind of... but his father and I have to kind of work that out. Whereas with little Z, I don't anticipate him going to public school anytime soon. My husband and I both firmly believe that homeschooling is the best for him. So I'm not just here for curriculum anymore. I'm here for tips. I want to hear what families do, what these people, like a lot of these people that, speakers that come here, you know, they might have like 12 children that they've homeschooled all, and they have kids that are graduated. They may have just a couple children. They may be, you know, done homeschooling and Now it's their grandkids are getting homeschooled, and it's just nice to get different people's point of view. And so while the vendor hall is awesome, and I am not lying, I do spend a lot of time there, I'm really here for the workshops now. I'm here to recharge my battery, so to speak. Last year, more so than this year, last year I really needed the emotional up boost. It was my first year homeschooling Z full-time, and you know what, actually my first year homeschooling full-time in general, because when Wes was at home and he was being homeschooled, he had ABA during the day, so we were homeschooling and ABA was there, so I wasn't really on my own. Last year I was, and last year I met a bunch of great women. I have one great friend that I've known for years, and she's homeschooled, and she's a wonderful mentor to me. But I wanted to, like, really broaden that group of people that I knew that homeschooled. And so last year I did a homeschool used book sale. I got in, and I was able to set up a table, and I kind of got to know those women. And when I was at the homeschool conference, I kind of connected with them. Actually, some of the people that purchased a lot of used curriculum from me, I kind of made connections with them. And then that September, I saw them at MACHS conference, and now I believe some of them are coming to, MACHS, which is today and tomorrow. And so they were messaging me and asking me, hey, do we need to bring lunch? How does this work? And so it's really cool how, in a year I've kind of grown my little community, and, we're mostly Facebook friends and on Facebook groups, but it's really, really important to me, and it keeps my sanity, just to know that there's other women doing this, because besides the one friend that I have known for years, since Wes was little, I don't really know that many people that homeschool. And then I found out my best girlfriend, her brother and sister-in-law homeschool, and we ended up running into them here, and they're also part of the swimming program that my boys are part of, so we've been kind of running into each other, so I've kind of been able to build a bit of a relationship with her. So I guess, how would I put it? The main point of the conference to me is, of course, looking for great curriculum, looking for ideas on how to shake up our homeschool and make it more, educate myself on how to educate my son. And the other reason is so I don't feel alone. My friends are sending their kids off to school, and, I'm kind of working and having a lot of responsibility put on my lap of making sure that my son has the best education possible. And the more and more the government takes a hold of, and I'm not talking the government in general, I'm not a conspiracist, I'm not anything, but in Manitoba, our government is cutting schooling funding to the point it's ridiculous. They have just shut down the homeschool, it's not a homeschool, it's the Manitoba Curriculum Library. Now, this library was a crucial aspect of public school teachers, private school teachers, people that go out into rural areas, like in the Hutterite colonies, on reserves, and where maybe money is tight and internet is not trustworthy, like it's always coming down, or there's no internet service whatsoever. And so they would order curriculum and books and use this library to teach these children in rural communities. Homeschoolers were able to use it. I had actually just signed up for a library card, and I planned on going there today, but our government, Premier Pallister has just shut it down, cut costs. A lot of it will be going online, which for somebody like myself who, I know that I have an advantage over a lot of other families because I live in Winnipeg. I don't worry about internet service. I go click on the internet, it works. When it doesn't, I feel like, I'm in the dinosaur ages. But that doesn't happen often. And if the internet's down, I got data on my phone. But people up at north, in northern communities, they don't have access to the internet like we do. So for them to download an ebook and, be able to use that with their classroom is just not feasible. So you hear these cuts happening. You hear making classrooms larger, or like putting more kids in a class. It's not in the best interest of the children. So I'm really glad that we have little Z at home. In the perfect world, I'd have the two bigs at home too. But you know what? We're just kind of an eclectic family. We have one in private school, one in public school, and one is homeschooled. And so far, so good. So, kind of went on a tangent there. But, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm hoping to come back on. Hopefully I don't buy too much. But I will come and show you what I buy. I anticipate I'm not going to be purchasing as much this year. Because like I mentioned earlier, I already have our homeschool main core curriculum. I have a bunch of reviews that I'm doing, some on my own and some with the homeschool review crew, and that it has just been a blessing to have these materials available to me. Some of them I was looking at, others I didn't even know existed, and they're fantastic. So I'm really excited to be able to have those available to me, so I have to purchase less, and I can share with you guys what our thoughts are and how they worked for us. So I am just looking at the time, charging my Fitbit, which it's fully charged, woohoo, and it's almost 9 o'clock. So I think I'm going to go in, register, and have a little snack and get ready. I don't think the main workshop starts until 10:30, but I may slide in for the freebie that they do at the beginning for new homeschoolers. I may just go listen, It'd be neat to hear what everybody has to say, and I'm still kind of a new homeschooler, so I'm going to go jump and do that, and thanks for watching, and I hope to do a few more videos like this over the weekend. You'll have to excuse, they're in my car. I don't even got my van. My husband had to take the van to get the kids around, so I'm in the car. So have a great day. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my blog, www.earlylearningmom.com.